Hey, my friend Stephen Brooks here, and I teach traders who have $25,000 or more in their portfolios how to generate a very reliable salary, trading as much as 2 hours a day, as little as 5 minutes a week. Plus, we use an AI trading bot to do a lot of the heavy lifting for us. Now, what I want to talk to you about today is the concept of success leaves clues. Whether you are in business, whether you are looking to have a better relationship, whether you're looking to lose weight, there are people who are achieving the goal that you desire. And just by understanding and really being aware of the steps and the process that they took to be able to get that end result, and you then going out there and trying to model the steps that you take, right? There's nothing guaranteed in life, but the odds of you getting your goal, achieving your goal, doing the thing you want to do go dramatically higher if you model the exact same steps that somebody else took that is already getting the outcome that you desire. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is the concept of success leaves clues when it comes to trading, because this is now the beginning of my 7th year doing the actual coaching of traders and individuals. Many thousands of customers have come through my doors, and I can tell within a very short amount of time of the new people who work with us who is likely to be successful and who is unlikely to be successful without even looking at the actual trades that they place. Right? I'm going to say that again because it's really important. I can tell within a very short amount of time for a new member joining any of our programs, without looking at the trades that they place, which of them are more likely to be successful and get the result that they want, which is $2,000, $3,000 a week, or those who are likely to get chopped up or eventually even lose money and give up. I could tell very early on. And again, it has nothing to do with the actual trades. I'm able to tell this information. I'm able to know this information without looking at any of their trades. Now, this brings me back, and I'm looking at this on a page right here. The 4 stages of competence. Right? So the 4 stages of competence. This is something that's been around for decades. I didn't come up with it. I'm literally reading from Wikipedia right now. Right, so there are 4 stages of competence. The first is unconscious incompetence. The individual does not understand or know how to do something and does not necessarily recognize the deficit. They may deny the usefulness of the skill. The individual must recognize their own incompetence and the value of the new skill before moving on to the next stage. The length of time an individual spends in this stage depends on their strength of the stimulus to learn. That really doesn't make a lot of sense. But the short of it is, the individual does not understand or know how to do something and does not necessarily recognize the deficit, right? So this is somebody who maybe wants to make an additional income on top of what they're currently making, doesn't know how to trade, doesn't know that trading would be the right vehicle for them. That's unconscious incompetence. Conscious incompetence, though the individual does not understand or know how to do something, they recognize the deficit. So that would be like, I know trading would help me make an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a week, but I have no idea how to do it. That would be conscious incompetence. Then we have conscious competence. The individual understands or knows how to do something. It may be broken down into steps, and there is a heavy conscious involvement in executing on the new skill. So this is somebody who says, I want to make an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a week. I know trading would get me here, and I pretty much know how to trade, but I really have to think it through, right? I really have to use my brain, and I really have to think it through each time. And then we have unconscious competence, which is the individual has so much practice with the skill that it becomes second nature and they can do it like the back of their hand, right? So there's these 4 stages of competence: unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, and unconscious competence. I would say that the people who I work with who make that $2,000 to $3,000 a week religiously, some people make a lot more than that. We actually have a lot of people who are making 5 figures a week, like every single week. But the people who are like making money consistently, like 3 out of every 4 weeks, like 5 out of every 6 months, and every single year, that's what I would call kind of consistent. They are all at the level of conscious competence and higher. So conscious competence is the individual understands or knows how to do something, but they still have to, it's not second nature to them. They can't do it with a blindfold on, but they think about it. They understand basically to place the trade at the right time. They understand how to not use too much trade size. They understand the rules of the system. They understand that if they do the thing, they will get good results. So from conscious competence and higher, that is the level of where everyone who gets there that I have seen, that I have worked with, and I'm sure there are people who have fallen through the cracks, so I'll rephrase that to the majority of the people who I've worked with who have come through my programs who get to the conscious competence level are the ones who make that extra $2, $3, $4, even $10,000 a week. Again, 3 out of 4 weeks, 5 out of 6 months, every year. They are all at the level of conscious competence or higher. And I would also argue that the overwhelming majority, or basically all of them, that don't get that result are at conscious incompetence or lower. So again, let me talk about conscious incompetence. Though the individual does not understand or know how to do something, they recognize the deficit, as well as the value of a new skill in addressing the deficit. The making of mistakes can be integral to the learning process at this stage. So we have 2 traders who get the exact same information. They have the exact same amount of money. They have the exact same amount of time. They have the exact same background. They have the exact same coaching. They have the exact same mentoring. Trader A doesn't get past conscious incompetence. Trader B gets to conscious competence. Who wins? Trader B. Why? Because they've gotten to conscious competence. So the question is, how do we reverse engineer that? Right? If a very large percentage, over 85%, probably even higher than that, of the traders who are in my programs who are successful are at the conscious competence level or higher, doesn't it make sense to kind of figure out how does one get there? To me, it does, because again, if a huge percentage of those making a 2 to 3 or even $10,000 a week, again, 3 out of every 4 weeks, 5 out of every 6 months, if the people who are getting that result are all at a certain point, let's figure out how to get there too. Let's figure out what steps I can take to get there. So really, the difference in many cases between those who don't make money and those who do make money is going from conscious incompetence to conscious competence, which is a short way of saying the difference between those who get there and those who don't have done the thing enough to where they actually can wrap their heads around it, right? So again, Trader A is only conscious incompetent. Trader B is conscious competent. Trader B wins, right? All of the students that I have that are making the money that you probably want to make are all conscious competence or higher. The difference between those who are conscious incompetent, which is basically you understand you need to know it, you understand there's a deficit, but you still don't know it, versus conscious competence, which is now I understand the thing, is repetition. That's it. Is repetition. So what's kind of cool is when we look at those who haven't really gotten the result they wanted, which are some people, versus those who are getting the result they want, the difference is repetition. Right, so we can use all these big words that are given us by Wikipedia, all these references, all these different series, all these different studies that have been done in the brain and all that stuff. But we can whittle it down to one thing: repetition. Repetition. Consciously competent is I understand the thing enough to be dangerous. Conscious incompetence is I don't understand the thing enough to be dangerous. How does one understand anything better than somebody else? More exposure, more volume, repetition. Does this sound like you? You purchase a program, whether it's a coaching program, whether it's an indicator, or whether it is just a course. You try the trade or the system for a handful of times. It does not work out in your favor immediately. You walk away. Does that sound like you? Now, if it does, here's the thing. You have stayed at the stage of conscious incompetence. Now, what if you did this? You tried it for a week. It didn't go 100% according to plan. So you put a little tweak on it, and it started working a little bit better. Then you put your own little tweak on it again, and it started working even better. And then you put your own little tweak on it one more time, and then you found something you have a lot of confidence in. That is conscious competence. The problem is, if this, I'm looking at this, if this right here is the level that traders need to get to, and here is where traders start, the majority of traders will fall out before they even get here. Now, there could be a number of reasons why that is the case, but it just is the case, right? When I teach something to a trader, what I say is, this information that I'm providing you, this education that I'm providing you, this coaching that I'm providing you, it can only ever get you 90% of the way there. That other 10% can only come by you getting repetitions under your belt, by you trying the thing, and ultimately figuring out which version of that 90% works best for you, and then you stick with it. Way too many traders never even get to day 30 of trying the system. And I would argue that when you have a new system, if your goal is to do it to the best of your ability with the most frequency you can for 30 trading days straight, you would have way better results. Way better results, because the amount of information that you would learn, real world experience by doing the thing, would be through the roof. And sadly, the majority of time, you're not even getting to day 5. You're not even getting to day 10, yet alone day 15, God forbid day 30. Right? So in 2023, which is still true in 2024, one of the biggest money makers for my students was something called the salary system. We have people making 5 figures a week, like, again, 3 out of 4 weeks, 5 out of 6 months, every single year. We have people making over $10,000 a week. We have a good number of people making over $10,000 a week with the salary system. We have a ton of people making over $1,000 a week with the salary system. We also have people that 3 days into trying it sent us an email and saying it didn't work. The people making $10,000 a week are up. Do you think they gave up after the 3rd day? No. The people making $1,000 to $2,000 a week, do you think they gave up after the first 3 days? No. Again, success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. So in the future, when you learn a new strategy or a new system or new anything, don't let it fail because you didn't get to the point where you can be consciously competent on that system. Don't let it fail because you didn't do the thing enough to the point where you actually understood it. Let it fail because the system actually didn't work. And the majority out there are letting trading fail for them, not because the system didn't work. You didn't even do it enough. You didn't even try it enough to be able to make a realistic judgment on if the system worked or not. Why? Because you never got to day 30 of doing the thing. 30 repetitions of a new strategy, a new system, or a new trade under your belt is really all you should be looking for when you join a new program, or if you learn something on YouTube, right? Whatever it is. Within that 30 days, you will learn so much to the point where you'll be able to tell, hey, you know what? If I put this little twist on it, this little twist on it, it's going to work super well for me over time. Or you're going to say, hey, you know what? Honestly, I've tried it enough. I understand it. It's just not for me. Very few who I work with actually get to that point where they can make a fully informed and educated decision on a trading system or strategy. The majority of the people who have come through my doors, again, we figured it out. Starting in 2023, we figured it out. But especially before 2023, like the majority of people who joined our programs would never even get to the point where they can make an informed decision on if something was good or not. Now, again, we have spent a lot of time and a lot of money figuring out how to get engagement. So that's not really a problem for us anymore. But again, like your goal should be to get to day 30. Because after getting to day 30, you will know everything you need to know to be consciously competent to the point where you can make a realistic judgment on if the thing is good or not. So again, my name is Stephen Brooks. I teach traders with $25,000 or more in their portfolios how to generate a very reliable salary, trading as much as 2 hours a day, as little as 5 minutes a week. Plus, we have an AI automated trading bot that does a lot of the heavy lifting for us. If that's something that is interesting to you, go ahead and click on the link I've added to the description of this video. That is going to send you over to a calendar that we have. Schedule a time that works best for you. You will speak with somebody on my team, and on that call, we will see if you are a good fit for our program. And if you are, we will extend you an invitation to come on board and be a part of our group. If you don't want to join that, no big deal. If you thought this video was helpful, give me a like, share it with a friend, hit the subscribe button, smash the bell so you can be notified for other videos and other content I'd have. But at the end of the day, if the most successful students, at least in my world, are the ones who are all consciously competent on the strategy, your goal, whenever you do anything, should be, I need to get to the point where I am consciously competent, right? Way too many traders will fizzle out before they are even close to that level, right? I think it takes about 30 days for somebody to be consciously competent. Where like, dude, I understand this. Like, I know the system. I have confidence it works for me, or maybe I have confidence that it doesn't work for me. Get to that point before you make a decision. Way too many of you, even after the first day, are bowing out. And again, like you will be so much more thankful that you did this because you'll be able to make a real judgment call at that point, as opposed to a judgment call based on a sample size that you would never recommend somebody else use. So thank you for all coming and watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.